Yeah, yeah. They had 17 kids. My mother was the 15th, 16th kid, and I didn't get to meet many of them because people died very young back then. And if you lived to be 45 or 50 years old, it was considered a miracle, pretty much. If you lived to be 70, forget it. Like you were queen. Anyway, uh, where
You said that he used to, you had a relative that used to read for the white folk.
Yeah, that was my grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to go. I thought I said that already.
Did it?
He said it, yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I did say that already.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's how he took care of his family.
Huh?
That's how he helped take care of his family.
Yeah, that's how he supported his family, and he acquired a lot. He lived to be quite a different age. I don't know how old he was, but my sisters and all, we all moved. They moved to New York, left me in Virginia. I told you about the cooking class and all that, right? Anyway, so I came up here at about 14 years old because my aunt couldn't take me anymore. And it was nice and interesting because I was concerned about losing my southern accent. But I found that the girls were attracted to my southern accent, so I never worked on getting rid of it. I won't get into any details on that, but anyway, you can imagine, right? But my sisters, they wound up married, and I'm the last of the family. They all died off at one at a time, different things. 2 had breast cancer, 1 from a car accident, and 1 from, breast cancer. And my mom died at 97, and I'm the last one in the family, and so far at this point, I'm 83 years old, and excellent good health. And should I say anything about the hospital stay and all? Anyway, I was with some friends one evening, and I went into the bathroom, and I tripped and fell and broke 4 ribs. And interestingly enough, the doctor said to me, he says, son, he says, it was a godsend that you broke your ribs. I said, well, how does that work? He said, well, you got 5 different things wrong with you. He said, you have infection in your lungs, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, and you got pneumonia. I said, oh crap. That's not really what I said though, but that'll work. And anyway, fortunately, taking care of my body over the years has worked out, and 9 days later I walked out of that hospital, and moving on and getting on with my life. I'm involved with the church, Antioch Baptist Church in Corona, New York, Queens, and got kids. My oldest son is getting to be quite a famous artist.
And what is what is your son? What is your son's name again?
Paul Dio. Paul Dio is an artist. And he does quite a lot of stuff lately. And you want to bring that over here?
Absolutely.
Where can you see it, here or here?
You could put it. Let me see.
It's not in front of me.
No, you can put it. Let me see.
You can get a shot of it.
Yeah, I'll get a shot of it. And
how's that? Back it up, it'll lay by itself.
Oh yeah, get some light in it too.
How's that? You want me to move it? I can move that.
No, because I'm just gonna move this down, so you'll be okay.
Okay. I didn't raise him,
No, okay.
He's not by my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Still you though.
Yeah. When he met me for his first time, he was 21 years old.
Mm.
Oh wow.
He walked in the building and he said, finally, my nose has a home.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know what you can do, Dad? Just hold that up because this is as far. It won't go any lower. So yeah,
That's good.
So let me zoom in.
There's a milk crate outside if you want to put it on the milk crate
Get that.
by the door.
You can just move this hand, that hand right there out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah. And
because it's moving. This old man can't hold it up.
I can put my fingers like that. Steady it. Okay.
Okay, let's keep it right there for a second more.
There's a picture of Roger on the wall over there if you want to include him in my son's.
Okay.
Better hurry up, man, because that soup in there is calling me, baby.
I know. I'm thinking about that.
All right, cool. I got it.
That's good.
Say what? I'm just kidding.
This is light, and it's lightweight. I like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like you, man.
Okay. So now,
Picture of Roger.
okay, so you could finish talking about your son.
Yeah, my oldest son is an artist under the name of Paul Dio, and his oldest son is an actor with master's degrees out of NYU, and he does a lot of Shakespeare. His name is Paul Dio Jr. And there's another grandson named Dylan, who is the youngest of my oldest son's kids. And I have another son, Roger, lives in Scotland. Was worked with the Olympics for 18 years.
The one who's an actor. What did he play in? What movies?
Oh, Dio Jr. was on Law and Order twice, and he's now doing Shakespeare in Washington, D.C. And I have another son named Roger that he's an administrator, sports administrator for the International Olympics, and he worked with them for 18 years and traveled in 43 different countries. A Temple graduate. Now he's met a lady in Scotland, and he's now an administrator for the police department in Edinburgh, Scotland. Married a dynamite young lady. They have 2 daughters that I've just recently visited, and I'm still full of that enthusiasm in being with them. It was really interesting. And I come home to 15 inches of snow, and you know, over in Scotland where they usually get 15 inches of snow, the weather was 35 and 45 degrees over there. So I'm back in New York trying to make things happen again, you know, whatever that means. But I'm at a blank here.
Okay, so now we're gonna wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, you can talk about how you, who is the relative that you trace your Powhattan line to?
Was my grandfather. And he was a part Powhattan.
What was his name?
Ryle Clock was his name. And he was part of black or Negro and Powhatan Indian. And that's how, and the only time I know of that I've got some of that into me. But other than that, I don't have. I've been into the Powhatan neighborhood down by the James River, inside and outside of Richmond, Virginia. And I've seen some of the artifacts that one of my cousins down there has. And yeah, there's a lot of history there that I don't know the basic details of, but I'm very proud that there is some history, you know, because very few of us have any history, you know.
Do you go to any of their powwows?
Huh?
Do you go to any of their
Yeah,
powwows?
I've gone to some of the powwows out in Long Island, and I visited some of the grave sites in Virginia, and been to some of the cities that have some small town museums of the Powhatan artifacts and history. And most of the history that I've gotten, I've read my books on. I've read first articles on the web, and that's where I really got most of my knowledge and information. And I've expressed that to some of my nieces and nephews, and my sisters. Well, they weren't into anything like that. They were into other things, and but all in all, you know, that ancestry stuff is very powerful in my heart, and I'm just so happy and proud to have had ancestors that maintain a solid position in the American history, and I'm very proud of that. And you know, so, but we don't have a whole lot of things that we could be proud of outside of ourselves and family. And I'm pretty proud of my family. I got the pretty good military people, doctors, lawyers, nurses, administrators, which my son in Scotland is. He's an administrator at the police department there, but he was also a sports administrator for the Olympics in London in 2012. He was the senior project manager there, and he did quite well for himself, and that's where he met his wife.
Did you share Did you share the family history with your children as far as like the information that you're sharing with me tonight? Have you? And are they
Only
interested
later.
in? Okay.
Only later, because only later did I become quite aware, and that's when I started reading and seeking information and looking up things in the library and things like that. And I would relay it to them, you know, and you know, the oldest one, Paul, he's very heavy into it. My son Roger, he's acknowledged it, but he's not really enthused with it to a point that he would discuss it. So, all right, I mean, he's proud to have that heritage. But anyway, where else?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go.
We can get a side profile with the ponytail. That'll be good.
You mean my profile?
Yeah.
You want to see
True.
my short ponytail?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
No, seriously, man, that's very important.
Yeah.
You gotta edit out the F.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's important, man. That's you know.
I guess what we could end with is you talking about that picture right
Oh
there.
yeah.
We can end off with that.
Okay. I had the pleasure of meeting an artist that
Hold
Got
it
it?
up. Yeah.
There
There we go. Yeah.
I had pleasure of meeting an artist named Harold Sewell. He was an admirer of the Tuskegee Airmen, and he professionally did these paintings and artwork of the Tuskegee Airmen, who I've always had great admiration for and respect. Incidentally, he was a lifeguard in Virginia Beach in the 40s, where blacks couldn't even go, but he looked white. He could pass. And to do that, he also played football and basketball and baseball in high school and college. And he went to Virginia State College, which is now Virginia State University. That is his alma mater, and they're having a statue erected of him on the campus of Virginia State University in Ettrick, Virginia. What else?
That's pretty much it.
You asked if somebody said asked you had you ever lived on a reservation? Maybe. You could
Oh yeah.
go ahead.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was asked on numerous occasions what reservation I lived on, which actually irritated me to a point that I would often come up with some nasty response, but often my response was, they said, well, if you're Powhatan, Indian, and black, why weren't you on the reservation? I said, because when you left the reservation, which we never were on the reservation, you had to live amongst some culture. And we weren't allowed to live in the white culture, so we moved into the black culture. So, I think black, I see black, I feel black, and I am black. So if anybody don't like it, then that's too bad for them. But I know what I am, and I know how I feel it. And
It's beautiful.
That's pretty
What
much
else?
it. Yeah.
Huh?
I think that's. I think. Let's see. I think we covered everything.
I can't eat.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
You were gonna scan.
I got a job once at the airport, Kennedy Airport, working for a company called Emory Air Freight. And this was during a time that they weren't hiring colored people in Kennedy Airport, and I was a supervisor there. And I used to have a lot of problem with the young Italian guys that worked on the docks and handling freights in the truck and stuff. And it got to a point that I knew if I did anything improper, I was gonna lose my job, no, but whether I was right, wrong, or whatever, it didn't matter. So one of the shop steward of that particular union group used to always do things to me. Bump my, when you pass, guys used to pass you, hit you with the shoulder and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So I told him one day, I said, you know what, this is back in the 60s, 65, 66. I said, you know what, you got one more time to mess with me. I'm going into Harlem, and I'm gonna get me 4 junkies and 3 bags of heroin. And whoever cut you up the most, go get the heroin. For the next 6 years, I never had another problem out of these guys. They didn't want nothing to do with Harlem, right? And that's the truth. I really did that. Yeah, I told you. Yeah. There were a few other things that went down, but I don't want to put that on.
True, I know.
Yeah, I had a heart big as that, man. The guy 6'8" would come up to me and fuck you. Oh, sorry.
It's gonna be edited out anyway. I'm gonna edit it out anyway.
Okay. Yeah, No, I did. Hey, I didn't care, man. You don't mess with me.
Exactly.
And so I left there and I went to an airline, and I did quite well. I wound up being finance administrator there. Not that I know any much about accounting, but I worked directly with the president, and I did a lot of things for him under that title. And I was also credit manager there, and I had a crew of 18 that worked with me and for me, and we got along fine. Never had a problem, never had to fire anybody. My motto was, whatever you need, tell me what you need, you got it. Come the end of the month, if your program ain't correct, you ain't here no more.
Exactly.
Simple, there's no argument there, there's nothing complicated.
True.
I never had to fire anybody, We did a nice job.
And you said you're related to Morgana?
Well, not by blood. Let me put it this way. Morgana's mother and my mother were childhood friends, and they grew up together, they got married, visited. So, you know how it is amongst black people. You've been around the family for the last 30 years, you family. So that's how she's cousin, not blood cousin. In fact, Morgana, no. Got a story to tell you about her. You still running?
You want me to cut it? Want me to take it off?
Yeah, take it off.
Okay, so we're done. We're done.
Okay.
Now.
Off the record.